Are you a small business owner, a trader, a school owner, a federal civil servant, a Lagos or Edo civil servant, a farmer or a farm supply merchant? Do you need a loan or wish to fix your money for a high yield interest? Talk to us today and get your loan in less than 24 hours. Visit our website on www.lapo-nigeria.org or call us on 0813-984-0230. Email info@lapo-nigeria.org.
Globally, businesses and corporations are faced with challenges that requires fresh thinking on strategy, leadership, and governance to survive. The Anchor is a program designed to help organizations and individuals to be skilled in handling challenges. Join Dr. Osare Emokai, a development economist and a corporate strategist, for this interactive, informative, educative program.
I welcome everyone to this edition of the Anchor. The title of this episode is Introduction to Paradigm Shift as a Dimension of the Anchor. Introduction to Paradigm Shift as a Dimension of the Anchor. The panelists today are Mr. Ebi Tebepina and Mrs. Osare Emokai. With COVID-19, the way the world runs has totally changed. The mode of doing things changed, and most have changed forever. And my counsel to everyone is to recognize that so many things have changed that are irreversible. And so we must develop a mindset to accept this change so that we'll have a good outcome in our lives. As again, rejecting this change with an outcome that may not be particularly pleasant. We will be talking about paradigm shift, and as that concept carries a condition that saves organizations at such a time like this. So, paradigm shift in some way become a sub-anchor. So, if you have the anchor as the paradigm, a sub, you have the anchor as the grand paradigm anyway. Then, of course, you are looking at digitalization and you're looking at all those things. And you want to begin to look at changes the way things are done, changes in our thought process, changes in our mind, to be able to take advantage of the times and seasons we are in. We will actually be dwelling and delving into that very important concept of paradigm shift. Some people will use different terms for it. It doesn't really matter what term you use for it. What is the point to recognize that things are changing, and they are changing in a way that may never return to the same. I have had people talk about post-COVID, that they will bounce back. Whoever says that is not fully understanding the momentum of what is changing, that they will bounce back. Bouncing back means you return to the old time. Whereas what is expected in this paradigm shift is actually bouncing forward. But you're moving on to entirely a new domain. You are moving on to a new season, and it requires a new thinking process. I won't, before I go into, because we're going to actually go into some intellectual depth on this. But before that, for everything, no matter how intellectual, we see they are often conditioned by what is not seen, and that is spiritual. And that is why I want to share a few scriptures before I begin to move into the intellectual depth of this concept. I want to start from this very book of wisdom, Proverbs 23, which says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So, if the way you think defines who you are, the way you think defines who you are. So if you think of defeat, that's who you are. If you think that doing church is physical, that's who you are. You remain there. And at some time, nobody will come near you. If you think that you want to build a ministry without walls, that's who you are. And that ultimately defines the outcome of your ministry. It defines the outcome of your future. I want to invite Ms. Osai Mokwai now, so I know she will have some perspective to this and take a few scriptures.
Yeah, just like he said in Proverbs 23, where he said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. We also want to look at Psalm 51, verse 10, where he said, create in me a new heart. And so that will become a shift, paradigm shift for everyone. When a new heart is created in you, you think otherwise. You shift from the fixed mindset to a new mindset, a changing mindset to adapt to what is good for the season. We'll also look at not stagnant. Not like he said, you are not bouncing back, you are bouncing forward. Bouncing back, you may not recover where you were. Like in the time of David, they said everything was taken away, the houses were destroyed. It means you are going back to those things that were destroyed. No, you are bouncing forward. You are going to be getting something better. Like our Geo will say a new beginning, a better new beginning. So we look at what Apostle Paul said here in Philippians chapter 3. If you just take verses 13 and 14. Say, brethren, I count myself not to have attained. That is, not to have achieved maybe a lot or even anything. Because he's looking forward. He's looking for more achievement. And in verse 14, say, I press forward. Remember what Jay will say, I hope somebody's pressing the button now. The lift is going up. So the paradigm shift is taking us to a different level, a higher level, where you press the button and the button takes you up continuously, no stopping. And so you are going to a higher level. And when the minds are renewed, the spirit is renewed, then you align with things happening now, and then you forget the past and press forward.
So I thank you so much. Talking about Philippians there, I love that scripture particularly because it's actually two-legged. One, failures of the past is gone. Even successes of the past gone. I need now to move to a new paradigm. There are new things, new benefits, new opportunities. You need a new way of thinking to be able to handle new things. So, and that is, I just love that. A renewed spirit is about moving from one spirit to another. From one that is negative, more often than not, from one that is negative and poisonous to one that is positive and edifying. It's moving from passion to purpose. You see, you'll hear it in terms of because we're talking about paradigm shifts and looking at it as a dimension of the anchor. And you see people saying, oh, I just do what I'm passionate about. I'm just so passionate. If what you are passionate about does not provide solution to anything, you wasted your life. Whatever you are passionate about must work within your purpose. To be able to make a difference. To bring it to a point of significance. Once that is out of it, oh, my passion is to dance. And that dancing doesn't really do anything. It does not put money in your pocket. It does not really entertain anybody. And you like dancing to yourself. You wasted your life. So in a paradigm shift, so if you've been in that kind of dysfunctional state, You now need to move from that dysfunctional state to begin to work in purpose. When you are working in purpose, you provide solution, you provide value. Value, what does value do? When you give value to people, you get a return. In law, they call it consideration. Offer, acceptance, consideration. For those who do a bit of some law, if you do business law, the little I did while in university. So, moving from using physical weapons, for instance, I want to just take a bit deeper now. Physical weapons of warfare to singing in 2 Chronicles 20 was a paradigm shift in warfare. So, what was known in warfare was using guns, whether they were day guns, using knives and all of that. But then a time just came in the life of some people in the ancient times, and they just were singing. What then happened during the way as they were singing? These were people, they had at least 3 nations ganged up against them. 3 nations. Marcia, whatever. There are 3 nations ganged up against these people. There was no way they could defeat these 3 group of nations, or even more, with physical weapons. What did they do? They began to sing. What they were singing choruses to God. And so there was that confusion in the camp of all those enemies. One began to use javelin to kill the other one killed the other, until the last man killed the last one. That is paradigm shift. When you have that kind of mindset, understanding that the way of doing things change to a new way that bringing better outcome, that's paradigm shift. And begins to anchor the way you do things in life. Now, let me also show you another one. Walking in faith rather than on facts is a paradigm shift. Do you know people want to tell fact, somebody died somewhere. This will happen somewhere. My own. Or in my family, people always die before the age of 50. People always die before. Those are the facts. But you can choose a mindset of faith as against facts. And what does faith say? It's an evidence of things hoped for. Evidence of things not seen. It's a proof of what we hope for. And so what do they hope for? I am trusting God that although my father died at 20, my mother died at whatever, but I'm walking in faith that I won't die till 100. It's a paradigm shift in your thinking process. And that then defines the totality of your life. So when you talk about paradigm shift, they are simple things. Of course, we can also show you some deep intellectual dimensions to this. But for a Christian, and that is why I encourage people, it doesn't matter how your parents were, it doesn't matter how your mother was. When you look at the new team, Biden team going to rule America, for instance. This young lady whose mother came from India with the husband. And they came in there. I think she's going to be the chairman of the treasury team, whatever. I said, when they came 4 years after that, they were divorced. And the mother then said, maybe they should go back to India. Because there was no way the mother could sustain 2 children. No job, no skill. But while they were thinking of going back to India, recognized that in India, there's a stigma to divorce. And so the mother said, I will fight it out. The mother went to school, evening school. I will fight it out. And the mother then moved to the middle class. And then these children moved to the middle class. And today, the daughter is now going to be Secretary of State. And you then see that. So you see that in the area of moving from facts, to faith. It's a paradigm shift. The next item, before I call in my discussants to come in, I want to just lay this small foundation. Moving the philosophy of works to observing Mosaic law to grace as a human source of strength and salvation in our present dispensation is also paradigm shift. So when you move from works to grace, when you move from the Torah to grace, it's a paradigm shift. And so it begins to anchor your faith and your hope. So the entire Christianity is anchored on paradigms that are shifting and changing on a regular basis. That is why in Psalm 37 verse 20 indicates that the source of enduring wealth formation is righteousness. That's a paradigm shift. Because people believe in crooked ways to get rich. But paradigm shift means if you live a life of righteousness, you are rich. That's a paradigm shift. That is why in Psalm 37 verse 20 indicates that the source of enduring wealth formation is righteousness. This is against the popular worldview notion of hard labor. He said that labor, how much hard labor I do. When you move under grace, it's not the hardness of the labor that gives wealth. It's grace. So our thought process defines who we are, and it is often based on the worldview that we hold.
Concord Security Services provides impeccable security services to its diverse clients, from banking to telecoms, from international examination institutions to big restaurants. Our emphasis on the use of cutting-edge technology to provide solutions to prevalent security challenges gives us a competitive edge in the industry. Our array of services include man guarding, CCTV, perimeter fencing, full body scanners, metal detectors, VIP protection, escort services, due diligence, and event security. We offer extensive trainings to our security personnel to improve their physical fitness, mental alertness, and exceptional skills in managing complexity at our 2 training centers in Ed John School of Management and in Elasa office. Engage our services today and let us give you peace of mind. Concord Security and Protocol Services Limited is located at 25 Abiyakuta Street off Beliat Bus Stop, Ilasamaja, Oshodi, Apapa Expressway, Lagos. Telephone 0805-690-8568 or 0805-119-9931. Send a mail to info@concordsecurityng.com or visit our website at www.concordsecurityng.com.
I want to now call on Mr. Tebefina. Now to break down, we're talking about paradigm shift and giving some examples to the scriptures, but I want you now to define what really is paradigm. What really paradigm? At least we are not like putting cart before the horse. So what is paradigm? You want to speak on that because you as a professional working across different companies.
Thank you, sir. So there are different, several definitions of paradigm, and I just want to zero in on 3. The first one is that is a widely accepted example, belief, or concept. An example of paradigm is evolution. An example of paradigm is the earth being spherical. The second example I want to look at, that it is a world view. The third example, and I'll add one definition to it more, is that it's a philosophical and theoretical framework of any kind. And the last one, it is how each and every one of us see the world at a particular time. And consequently, what we believe and do in the line with our thought process, perception.
So what you are saying there is that I think just in defining that, maybe a little more simplification. You see, some people call it lenses that we use to see the world. You know, I'm wearing glasses now, so you will see the kind of glasses I'm using. If I were using a dark shade, how do I see my sister? If I'm using this, how do I see? So paradigm then becomes the way you see people. So lenses used to view our world. You know, for instance, those in business, how do they see how business can be fair to everyone? They will tell you the stakeholder theory. Some people will then say, how will you be fair to those who brought the money to do the business? They say, you the shareholder theory. So if that's a word without the lens you are using. You see that Biden, another, because I spoke about the stakeholder lens and the shareholder lens, and I was going to talk about, just the lens is about Biden is already receiving security briefings, even when the man who is the president there now is yet to accept the faith. What does that mean? That is, America is looking with the lens of institutions. No strong leaders. So, but there are those, in the time of Winston Churchill, they were not talking about institutions, they were talking about strong leaders. Adolf Hitler about strong leaders. So, strong leaders and Trumpism, the way it is captured, the way it's perceived, is about strong leaders. Is a difference in paradigm. Strong leaders versus institutions. Okay, another one is Christianity versus paganism. If you see the world through paganism, you will always be killing cock and goat for to whatever it is. If you still believe in Judaism, you still believe in all those kind of blood sacrifices. But when you are in Christianity, it's a different. The paradigm has changed. It's a new paradigm. In other words, it's grace. It moves from sacrifice, physical, to grace. And also the issue of scarcity mentality to abundant mentality. Now, let me come to this, Madam, to tell us about shift. Now, we'll be trying to look at paradigm. Then there's the second leg of the paradigm shift. So what really is shift? What do we mean when we talk about shift?
Shift in a nutshell, or basically, or bringing it to the literal level, is like moving something from one place to the other, changing the position of a particular thing to another position. And that new position is usually a better position, not just for convenience, but something that will give you a better output. And we always say that what is constant is change. And so when we are talking of shift, we are talking of change. Changing from one place or one position to another, or changing from one person to another for the purpose of getting the best output and not just getting something as usual. If, for instance, we want to talk of numbers, you are talking of who is the man that is going to be there that will give you 100% instead of 99 or 90%. If you are talking of output, you are talking of maybe bottles of some drinks. If you were getting like about 40 before, you want to move it now to about 80. You need another leader there. And so that is what we are talking about when we are talking of shift. You are shifting maybe equipment, you are changing equipment, you are changing manpower, you are even changing location. For instance, we'll be talking of things that you are going to do away with because of what we have now been exposed to because of technology, the digitalization. So you are not going to be needing a lot of accommodation anymore where you have one man using a big office and you have chairs that are never used, whether in the church or in the company where you work. Now you are just left with either your handset, your telephone for a lot of things, or you are using your laptop. So you have your meetings instead of having chairs around you. And so that is why we are talking of this shift, that people are still saying no until all the family members come come together in one room
location.
and then we shout at each other, we drop whatever virus at each other, it's not going to be the same again. And so, and remember in the 90s, somebody in South Africa will tell us that when they're doing some work and when they don't finish at their time, they send it to Canada. I didn't understand until this digital thing started coming up and I started knowing what they were talking about. It's just you giving them the concept and then they make something out of it. So when we are talking of shift, coming back to what we are talking about, is moving from one thing to the other, position or people. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, maybe you want to tie together now, paradigm then shift. So to now say, bring it together so you cannot know in a more addition. Yes.
Before doing that, I just want to add to the example Mommy gave. A lot of things are being done based on what is happening in the environment right now. She mentioned in the last episode or thereabout, where birthdays are now weddings. I could remember just last Friday, there was a funeral I attended virtually. And as a matter of fact, I had to coordinate virtually of someone we lost. And everybody connected from London, US, several people connected. And you could just imagine everyone coming into Nigeria for that postmortem, 1 year postmortem anniversary. So a lot of things are changing. The old ways, basically what the paradigm shift is saying, that the old ways of doing things are to be phased out. There are new ways of doing things now. And so the need for one to shift from those old ways to new things. And that is where the word also innovation, I think, also plays. New ways of doing old things. The new ways of communicating. Communication is still ongoing, but new ways of communicating and passing out information. Let's not stay on the stone age.
Okay. Now, so paradigm shift is a major change in concept and practices. Something works and what is accomplished therefrom. So paradigm shift very often happens when a new technology is introduced that radically alters the production process and of course the outcome of that process. So paradigm shift very often happens when new technology. I've said that some radical changes take place, even sometimes some cosmetics. I mean, Mr. Ebi spoke about innovation, about creativity. All this in some way have to give leg to paradigm shift. Now, I want to share some light on the types of paradigm shift that exist. So I think there are three main, in terms of when you begin to look from a philosophical point of view, there are three main thoughts, that underlie paradigm shift. So they're what we call it positivism. Then we interpretivism, and then what we call the critical theory. So if I take positivism, it is a system that defines truth by only scientific or mathematical proof. So if you are talking of COVID, it's not an issue in which you begin to, what does science say about COVID? That's positivism. Okay, the interpretivism is this. It means you look at things based on your own perspective. If you are a woman, if you are a feminist, the way you see the world is feminism. If you are a politician, the way you see COVID is from politics, like we are seeing in America. So that is what we mean by interpretivism. Then finally, the third one there has to do with what we call the critical theory. It is a reflective critique of society in in order to reveal challenge to power structures. What do you mean? A critique. You just look at the way like Nigeria is governed. If you do a critical critique on how it is governed, what are the challenges? What are the power structures? And all those things. Those are the things that actually define why people are now saying we need a new paradigm. We need a restructuring. And that is actually coming out of critical theory of the Commonwealth we call Nigeria. So from there, if you then go to do a research in all these three areas, whether you are taking a positivist approach, interpretive or critical theory, but when you now want to do a research on this, you then look at what we call ontology, epistemology, methods. For those who are interested in a bit of an intellectual, dimension to this. And epistemology, is the philosophy of the study of nature. That's the way it is. Ontology is a branch, of philosophy. It's about the existential process. So those are things. Let me not go too detailed into this. People can always see that in the way in which we look at paradigm. You can, on the philosophical point of view, there are different ways of looking at that. And so, I want to thank you for all of you who were part of this program today. We are tailing off at this point, and I want to thank you so much. Should you have questions, please, you can send your questions to us. Any comment, you can send your comments to us. I have an expert in leadership here who can help you in this time of change, in time of complexity. I have a communication expert, security expert on my right, who also can give you assistance in whatever way you need. So that's why we are here. And so once again, we want to thank you for listening today, and we hope you benefited from this. God bless you.
Mindshare Communications Limited is a world-class marketing, communications, and branding consultancy firm located in Lagos State, Nigeria. We offer a wide array of consultancy and promotional services to corporate businesses and firms. Our services include strategic marketing activities, public relations, advertising, social media management, digital marketing, web development, brand development, marketing activation, strategic branding, market intelligence activities, and telecoms, ranging from CUG management to airtime vending. Call Mindshare Communications today to help you achieve your goals. For further information, please contact Abiola on 0807 739 0974. Send a mail to info@mindsharelimited.com or visit our website at www.mindsharelimited.com. Address 184A Kaduna Road, Crystal Estate, and Mowadofi Estate, Lagos.